Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday, the 24th of May, and there is something on the horizon. So we've had a lot of dry weather across southern Australia. There are a lot of farmers in particular that are saying, when is the autumn break? It is incredibly late, and we may actually have something on the horizon. However, it is not locked in stone yet. I want to get that out of the way first of all. Let's have a look at what might happen. Okay, so here we are today. We've got a big system that's coming into the southwest here. We've got high pressure that is just covering the southeast, as it has been doing for a very long time. There is a system that's come up through here and delivered some nice falls to Tasmania, even some alpine snow. But this is just grazing the coastline of Victoria and will work its way, well, there we go, will work its way up the coast and do nothing for the inland parts, because we've got that high pressure there that is blocking all of that rain. In order to make it rain, you have to have these two things work together. You've got to have energy come up, so you need instability. You also have to have a feed of moisture, and that's better if it comes from the tropics because it can hold a lot more moisture. So you have to have instability and you have to have moisture working together to produce that rain. If we've got a bee high sitting there, that means that no, we cannot get it. Okay, so let's have a look. On this one here, we'll move up to here. Here is a train of cold fronts that's about to come into the southwest there. But here is our very large, very strong high pressure system over the southeast and the cold front that is moving through. Now, all of this here is going to peak over the southwest and then very quickly just move away because the high is too strong. But you can see that there is a gap in between these high pressure systems. There's one here and there's one all the way out there. So that gap in there means there is access to tropical moisture. And that's the key ingredient we need for these things to actually deliver some rain. So it's not this one that's going to do it. It's not the one in behind it that's going to do it, but maybe the one that follows that. Let's take a look. So over the next 8 days, hello, there is something on this map. This is very exciting. We haven't seen anything in the inland parts for quite a while. Now, is this what is going to happen? Probably not, as in not exactly what's shown on the screen here, but it's an idea that we can get some moisture come down from the Indian Ocean, meeting up with systems as they cross Australia and deliver something to those in its path. Now, the path, that's the hardest bit, it's the trickiest bit, it's the hardest one to see a full week away, which is what this is. So let's go through here. Today, our usual map, which has got a little bit of coastal activity, this in through here, clearing out of Tasmania. This one comes up to the southwest tonight, and then tomorrow there it is, and then into Sunday completely disappeared. So that one is not the one that moves eastwards. As we move into Saturday, here's just that activity along the coastline there, and then again on the coastline just for Sunday as well. And as we head into Monday, nothing there. So that's just the remaining stuff there. Here is a next weather system that's coming up as we go into Monday and into Tuesday. So the southwest is looking pretty good. We've also got the idea that something is coming in through here. So that is Tuesday. Now here we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So all of this here is mid to late next week that this is crossing. It looks like it may come in two waves as we move through sort of Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, and then another one into Saturday. However, two of the weather models have that high pressure still coming in and producing a bit of a block and dampening how much rain we can get out of this. Two other models have it going very excited, a lot of rain coming through. So you're going to see this in the model output that I'm going to show you in a moment. We need to wait for all four of those models to have consensus before we have confidence that this is what's going to happen. Because at the moment, if you've got two that are saying no, maybe those two are correct. Maybe they know what's actually going on. We keep watching this and see what's going to happen. Okay, so there's our idea at the moment. What the latest guidance is saying is what could be possible. Let's have a look at temperature. Here is week 1, so from Monday onwards, and you'll notice there's a lot of red across the country here. Now, I'm going to give you a tip. There is a lot of cold air that is going to come into the southwest. Now, this begins on Monday, and it is so much warmer than average that is the overall for the week for this part here. But pretty much from Tuesday on, there is a lot of cold air that's coming up into the southwest, so do be aware of that. But all of the heat that it is showing across here, that's real because we've got a high pressure system sitting out here. That means our winds are coming down across the interior and flowing into the southeast. So that is warmer than average. Now, we are in late May, so it's not like it's really warm, but it is definitely temperatures above what you would normally expect at this time of year. So there is warmth in through there. Let's have a look at the wet weather pattern, and this is interesting. So this was done yesterday. It's from the Euro model. And it shows it coming into the west. Most of the models have it coming into the west. Some of them have it skipping in through here across the wheat belt, though, so do keep that in mind. But here's our feed coming in, and here's our energy coming up. Now, this model is showing it's more likely to take a bit of a northern path. And this one thinks that high pressure is blocking and not letting it come through the southeast. Now, interestingly, this is the ensemble, and it's a slightly different way of looking at their modelling. The day-by-day modelling from the Euro this morning did have it barreling through the southeast and producing some good rainfall. So that's two varying bits of guidance from the same house of forecasting there. So definitely there's not a lot of confidence in this yet because all the different things are saying all very different stuff. Okay. Let's move into week 2. So here's our heat pattern. Looks like this is going to be lingering in terms of heat being available across the country. So this is above average. And you'll notice that the ski season is rapidly approaching us and there's a lot of red on this map. As we go into week 2, in terms of rainfall, this is showing a different path. So again, this was the runs from Thursday the 23rd, and it's showing southern Australia having the chance of above average for this particular week of the year, above average rainfall. So something to keep in mind. Does that mean that we're going to get more systems come through? What we're seeing as the current pattern at the minute is really, really good to get those cold fronts come up from the Southern Ocean and move across the southwest. It splits the highs. It lets some of that moisture come in from the Indian Ocean. That's great. Can it make it all the way across to the eastern part of the country? That's the big question. Does it skip parts of the southwest as it moves through, as it's getting all ready to go? And then where does it actually go when it moves into the eastern states? Is it moving across the southeast, or is it taking more of a northern path? The other bit is ski season rapidly approaching. We're having, at the moment, systems peaking over here. We need another ingredient for snowfall to happen. You've got to have that instability. You've got to have that moisture. And tropical moisture is good, even though you may think it's not. It's just how much it has to play with, how much juice it's got in the system. But you've also got to have cold enough air. So if the systems are peaking over here, they are running out of cold air by the time they reach the southeast. So that's not good. At the moment, most of the modelling has it moving up through here and then sliding across the southeast, so it's lacking cold air as we go into the start of the ski season, and potentially longer too. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at SAM. So at the moment, quite positive. So this is encouraging troughs and lows, but you'll notice a big sharp dip. We know we only really look at the first week of this one because it is always neutral in the long term. So this is showing that we're heading down into here. So strong fronts, which is exactly what we're looking at with this one up through here. Sorry about your eyes for a second. So on here, all of that peaking over the southwest, another one coming up, and then another one, which is the catalyst for the rain system. So that is indicating that strong fronts are the change. But if the high pressure remains, they can't help us out. Okay, so that's where we are with SAM. Let's have a look at MJO. I was talking about a feed of moisture from the Indian Ocean. Yes, here it is, right in through here. So the grey line, this is where this pulse of tropical energy has been moving to. We've come across through here, and here we are just coming in to the area that helps encourage those feeds of tropical moisture as we move into Australia. So this is just doing a little bit of a drive-by there, and then modelling suggests it's going to disappear again. Now, the modelling didn't actually have it coming up through here. It had it moving across here. So this is a little bit unexpected, but we will take that moisture definitely to run into our low pressure systems. All right, sea surface temperature anomaly, how much warmer or cooler than average it is. Have a look at the Pacific box, have a look at the blue wiggly line. It is appearing, it is getting stronger, thicker, wider, everything each week as we go by. So all of this was a very warm box out in the Pacific Ocean then, which was our El Nino. Now we're starting to see La Nina coming in. We still have warm water that is all in through here. So as soon as that one goes blue and this one remains red, that means this whole atmospheric system starts pushing moisture towards Australia. So on our way there. Let's have a look at what the forecast is for that one. So here was our El Nino. We came out of it. We're now firmly in the neutral zone. You can see the ocean is transitioning, and here are here's what's expected in terms of forecasting from the different modelling. 1, 2, 3 models now. not just 2, that's how it was over the past couple of weeks. July into August are crossing that threshold. And if you think about it, the US threshold is 0.5 rather than 0.8. So I'm just showing you where that is down on that line. But so that's more like here, which is early July. Okay. So that's 3 models now that are showing us moving into La Nina, as in enough of that threshold, enough of that push, the atmosphere as a whole starting to push moisture towards Australia from the Pacific Ocean from July, August onwards. The next model waits until October, November, so quite a difference there. This one doesn't quite make it, and these 2 are remaining firmly neutral. So that's 3 that are showing us getting in through there, another 1 later in the year. Let's have a look over at the Indian Ocean, and we'll have a look at our sea surface temperatures first of all. A very red box out through there, so that indicates a positive Indian Ocean dipole. However, if we do have red that is back in through here, then it's not an imbalance and you don't get that push of moisture. So if this was to remain red and we had red in through here, and that would mean that, yeah, we're in a positive Indian Ocean dipole. Doesn't have the same fancy name as the Pacific, but it's the El Nino of the Indian Ocean. And that's what all of this modeling is suggesting here. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to what's happening off northwestern Australia. Yes, that is our feed of moisture for the minute for this particular system, but this here is a very worrying concern. Worrying concern, that's exactly what it is. So Indonesia, particularly Western Indonesia and off the northwestern coast of Australia, if this area here turns blue, then we end up with a proper imbalance in the Indian Ocean. Red out here, blue in through here, that definitely pushes the moisture away. If we have red out here and we have red mainly out through here, then it'll be like last year's El Nino where we had red in through here and red out through there, so there wasn't a complete imbalance and it didn't completely push that moisture away. So 2 options. This doesn't grow and we remain all quite red in through here and we don't completely lose that feed of moisture. But if this does go blue, then it's a proper positive Indian Ocean dipole and we do lose it. We don't want that because they feed our northwest cloud bands and deliver rain to southern Australia. All of the modelling is suggesting that, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4 are all above that threshold. One of them is very close. So they're all suggesting that we are going to remain in that positive Indian Ocean dipole. If I was looking at sea surface temperature maps, they are also showing that this blue here is going to grow. So this is not great news for one of our sources of moisture. Okay, let's move on to the forecast for the week ahead and this potential for rain. So here I've gone into South Australia. Let me just show you the rain forecast map once more. So here we are just up in through here. We're looking at, what's that, 5 to 10 millimetres as the average across all of the different weather models. And let's have a look here. So we've got nothing in the next couple of days and look at how much warmer it goes. So 16 and then jumping up into the low, almost mid-20s. Let me just move myself out of the way. Here we are, cooler weather coming in, and here is the potential for some rain. So it wasn't huge falls in through there, but let's have a look at it day by day. I'll just jump straight to Thursday. We'll have a look at this to see, yep, okay, so rain is happening through these hours. This is what our temperature's doing. This is what our wind is doing, so it's not overly strong here. Here's my spraying potential. Not great for that day. No frost thanks to all this rain coming through. So I'll just close that one out. But let's have a look at Monday with a low of 1. So, yep, there's our frost risk through to there. So you can see how many hours that is a concern. Okay. No, get rid of that one. Let's move to Thursday. Here we are. And this is what the average of all the weather models are saying in terms of rainfall. Let's expand this out, which is now called Pro as of this morning. And we can see that very light falls in through here. Most of it is in here. Have a look at this colouring. So here we've got Australia is the yellow one. Europe is the green one. It's yellow and green that are showing in through here. It's not really purple. And it's not really pink. So the USA and the Canadian models, they do not like rain here so far. It is just 2 out of 4 that like that rain, with the rainfall range of 0 to 10 millimetres. Let's move forward. So we'll have a look at Friday. Here we go. There's another potential for another burst coming through later on Friday, but that's just from one model lasting into the early hours of Saturday. And that's pretty much all that we have got there. So that's what we're looking at there. We've got 2 models that like it and 2 models that don't. Let's have a look further east. We'll go into Victoria here. I've gone into Wangaratta. I'm not quite sure why Google calls it rural city of Wangaratta, but that's great. And again, move myself. Here we've got rain 7. We've got 1.5. We've got 4. So we've got our cold nights that are happening here. Let's particularly have a look at Tuesday. We'll go to our more info, and there is our frost risk coming through. We've got moving now through to Thursday, and here is the potential for wet weather. 13 millimetres is the total in through there. Watch the cloud build as the day goes on. Watch the rain start to build as we go through Thursday into the early hours of Friday. Let's expand that out, and you'll notice here again, it's the yellow and it's the green. It's the Australian and the Euro model, hardly anything from the USA and nothing at all from GEM, which is Canada. So it's two models that like it, two models that don't. We don't have high confidence in this yet. Let's skip forward to Friday, and it eases in the early, the early hours of the morning. We've got another dry day. Let's just skip into Saturday there. And here we have two models, mainly the yellow one, so the Australian model that likes a second burst coming through as we go across the weekend. So head to janesweather.com, keep coming back morning and night. That's when the main models update. So you've got fresh guidance from each and every one of them. So it's all ready by Australian Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. And that's why our emails go out at that stage there. Have a look to see how these are changing. Have a look at each of the individual models so you've got a really good idea of what's coming your way. I'll see you next week. Bye.